Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and I've been gone for 2 weeks, and sorry. I'm joined today with hubby. Hopefully we are back now. Hopefully. Can you guys hear us now? No, because it's still buffering. There we go. There we are. We're back. Suddenly, you're getting a nasty phone call when we're done here. Because this just, no, not right. Hopefully, everybody will come back. Hi, Pete, Amy, Sheila, Eve, Josh. Hopefully, all our wonderful people come back. Whirlwind, Greg, Nick. Can you type to Nick and let him know it started back up? So hopefully, if you can hear me, let me know. Just need one person telling me, yes, we can hear you. And we'll get started. And hopefully everybody else will find us. Whew. So this is Amy's piece. Nope, that was you. But nobody's talking to me. Okay. I guess we're heard. I am so sorry for this. Suddenlink is going to hear about it. So we've been away sick. That's why there's going to be a lot of muting and covering. Hey, Eve. Yeah, it's just been one of those days. And every time we miss a live and come back, we have this issue. So I guess we're not allowed to miss lives. Okay, so we are looking at Amy's wonderful... I totally went blank. I'm so... Hi, Joshua.
It's a mill.
It's a mill, thank you. My brain is still sick in some ways. Plus, I've had alcohol to keep my chest calm, so I'm not coughing your ears out. So we are going to take a look at Amy's mill. And she's got a wonderful job started on this. I can tell it's on pine based on how the grain is burning, where Amy tried to go darker, because the darker lines are the harder grain. It takes more heat, and you're not going to get the same burn as the softer wood grain on either side of it. So that's why pine tends to be one that most people don't want to burn on, is because it's so uneven. And I would say we need more darks, Amy. You got some wonderful darks in here and over in here. So just keep building them up. One thing, looking at the reference, is we've got a lot of darks underneath the chute that drops the water down onto the wheel. So we really should bring those in. Watching where some of them do have the light hitting, so I'm guessing based on based on how the lighting is hitting the building, we're looking at this direction. So that's why we have the lighter here, but as it goes in, we have these darks. So really want to get those in, and that's going to give you the more realistic look that you're trying to go for. And the ones in the back are going to be even darker, as well as the building. Let's see here, some of these are lighter, and of course Moon knows we went live. If the back door is open, just let her be. Let the seal go. 2 weeks of... Anyway, so in here is going to be your darkest. And so looking at your wheel, you've got some darks in here. You're going to need to match those darks down in here. And doing that will help balance it out. In fact, you could start with these first, where some more of the darks are at. And in doing that, you'll see what stays lighter. And this is what you call negative burn. We're burning around some of the areas. And in doing that, we're pushing that building back. We're getting the layers, meaning the different levels of what's closer to the camera and as you go further away. So under here, it is dark. You don't see detail. Now, I know it branches off into light, but it looks like, based on where this house, the roof stops, that we're not going, we're not going fully to the edge. It looks like we stop right about here on the piece, and then we cut off right about here. I didn't pay attention to that. I should have cropped the photo to match. There we go. So we're looking at the information in sight here. Let's see here. And I haven't been looking up because I'm trying to get back in my groove. Internet company is not going to be happy when we get my phone call. Alright. So we get in there. That's the lighter part of the building, but it is darker than the fencing. So we do need to kind of shade that in. Doesn't have to be as dark. We do need...
Burrow's here.
Hey, Burrow. And what's going to help is you got some really good lines started. A lot of overall straight lines, which is really good. And that helps with your perspective. So right here, these are darker as they're coming out of the water. Not only do we not have sun hitting it, but the wood is wet, so it's darker. And then as you go up, it starts to lighten. So we do need to pay attention to those values. And by having the darker shadow up against the lighter, it really makes it pop out more. There we go. And then we got some really light ones up here that we could actually keep the color you've got and sort of darken that. But right here, we really lose a lot of the information. You can go and drive me nuts, ain't you? So let's get that in there. I guess you're going to be one of those days. You know, I haven't burned basically in 2 weeks, so I am late on my deadline for the owl. I gotta get a hold of them and get that taken care of. There we go. There's a few areas that could go a little darker, but I'm thinking this is going to be the main subject of the photo of the burning. This has got the most information. Let's see here. That can go. That's behind, so that goes a little darker. And same with this, because it's in the shade, we really can't see. Mind you, I realize if I had the reference photo bigger and zoomed in, I could see it. But based on the size of the burning, we would see less of this information. And that's something we got to keep in mind, that just because we zoom in and we can see the information as we're burning and looking at a reference, based on the scale of the burning, it's still further away, and so we would see less information. And I know it can be hard sometimes when you zoom in, even for me, when you zoom in and you start working what you see, well, it looks bigger because you're zoomed in, but then it starts kind of throwing things off. So we kind of got to practice not necessarily always burning how we see for that very reason. So this is darker. Let's get that in there.
All that was a ploy to get a snack.
A snack? I'm not surprised. It's Moon. If he can pull off a snack, he will. Alright, so now what's going to make this even darker is going to be the negative burning around the wheel. That one, I'm not sure where that's at. Alright, so what I mean by that is this right here is darker. Let's see here. It looks lighter. And then we got an overhang. Hopefully I'm on camera. Okay. We've got an overhang on the roof, from the roof. So these aren't going to be as light as they look. They're just not going to be as dark as under the eave. It's still dark wood that has been weathered. So right here, I'm putting more pressure and just lighter pressure with the colored pencil on. Some of it is all right. Some of it's lighter. Had to finish that thought, didn't I? You've done a really great job paying attention to your lines and trying to keep the perspective on. You did a really good job with that. Alright. So right here is darker underneath. But then when we go over here, you started burning here, and a lot of this is just continuing your burn. You've already got a good base down. Just deep breath and try not to get too impatient of I want it done now, because I think these darks is really gonna help balance out your piece. See right there, by putting the underneath of the eave, that just made it more 3D. Because this is the side of the house, and we've determined based on the lighting that the sun's hitting this way, this will always be darker because the sun is not hitting it, but you're going to have reflective light from around. So let's get that in there. Now I know the glass inside is darker, so I'd say that this is, well, let's see. We'll put it in and see what it does for the piece. I do still recommend printing out and doing exactly what I'm doing with your piece, because I think then once you have a visual of what you like, it's easier to burn it. You won't feel so intimidated to go darker because you've already seen, based on what you yourself do, that you got it. Alright, so definitely a light roof. I don't know that I would change too much on the texture. Did a really good job. What we do in the much darker ease. Brain's not working. One thing I did notice, mind you, I did crop, is you've got a line, and it could be just how the photo was taken, but if you're going to have a burning stop, you really need to make sure that line is completely straight, especially if you're not matting it, because when you kind of go in a little bit, it throws it off. This side was more straight on, but this side, and like I said, it could just be because the photo wasn't straight on, there's less burning on this side. And looking at the full piece, you can see that. Alright. Be on here. And I do think the ivy could stay. It kind of breaks up the wood. I think they're going to be brats, aren't they?
Okay, I'm just going to bring them all in. And we're buffering.
Okay. They are so going to hear from me. Go away. Okay, he said we're buffering, but I'm not seeing the buffer. Okay, so we must be back. So we'll just keep going. If this keeps happening, then I won't burn too long on the bison because I think it just gets frustrating for all of us when the stream does that. We'll just pick it up next week. Alright. So, we do have some lighter. There is the light wood that has been more weathered in a different way, but it's not white. So trying to get that in. Are we back? No, I didn't disconnect. It just buffered. An internet company is not going to be happy with my phone call. Luckily, we pay the, $6 insurance. So I make them come out here and check everything out. Because it doesn't cost us anything. And it seems like once a year, we have this issue. Alright, so...
Are we good?
When I looked up, it wasn't buffering. Hey, Cian. Hey, David. Owl. Are
you okay?
He's saying owls, but I'm not sure what it's in. Can anyone help me with feather? Oh, owl feathers. I did do a live burning of an owl, George. It's on paper, but all the information still applies to wood. And actually, I think I might have a couple of sessions of burning in that playlist. And it's also the same owl that I'm having to reburn that's going in the magazine. Alright. See, I'm not sure what this is. Okay, I can take it out. Yeah, internet company. Though I always call all grumpy, but then they're nice to me, and I can't be grumpy with them when they're nice to me. So, it won't stay that way. Alrighty. So on the rocks, that can go more texturized, as in circles, to kind of break it up. And it does bend under, so that the water is kind of underneath. Let's see here. And where it's darker, that's kind of where it bends a little bit. So watching that. Do this. Now I'm not going to be right on this. I'm just filling it in.
Joshua says, really going to get it now.
Yes. Yes, they are, honey. Because I'm nice until I'm not.
Debs Ford says, why are you coloring in on paper? I'm a newbie.
Because this is a good way. First of all, hi, Deb. This is a good way for me to explain to people with colored pencil, kind of based on burning, what I see and how I might change some of it to help. It just helps illustrate better how the burning can look without feeling so overwhelming on trying to... One, it's not my burning, so I don't have it burned. And two, it's just easier to see. And something I recommend you do with your own burnings, if you feel stuck, I highly recommend you print it out and do exactly this. If you're not sure you should go darker, print it out. put a whole bunch of dark on it and see if you like it. And with doing that, you can see what you like and you don't like. You can apply that to your burning without feeling like you're going to mess it up. So it's just a good visual to help. And I don't have the burnings in hand. Plus, they're not my burnings, so I wouldn't adjust them myself with a burner. It wouldn't feel right. Okay, so we've got our... I said it earlier, I went blank. It really does suck being sick.
It does.
Okay,
I apologize for all my sniffing.
Back here. There's just a lot of texture in this piece. A lot of really cool texture. But sometimes we keep burning what we see and then we kind of lose the feeling we were going for. So let's see. On the shoot, that's the word. If I can get some of this. So that means under here it has to go even darker. This allows you to see the balance and be able to go back and forth without feeling like you're going to mess anything up. And when you don't feel like you're going to mess things up, you're more likely to go darker. And when you go darker, you're more likely to have that piece that you're really looking for that's more dynamic and has the feeling you want. Still negative burning in the back, technically. So how come you didn't do a shot so that you weren't coughing?
Well, I don't know if I would be coughing or not.
I don't want to know what that means. I know you're coughing.
I'm still sick.
Because I hear you coughing. Alright. So, but see, now we have this this lighter roof back here, and it is lighter than the chute. I still need some burning in it. Alright. And underneath. Yeah, see, pine, the grain makes it hard to really... I mean, it's doable, but when you're new, it can feel more frustrating. Making it where you don't feel like you're accomplishing and less likely to stick with it. So, finding a good wood for you in the beginning is, I think, very important. Just like having the right paper if you're drawing or painting. For the techniques you want to do, the right wood makes a difference. Let's see here. And again, things could still go darker. I'm going to switch pencils. Get a drink. There's not a lot of high highlights in this because of the wood. But we do have darks down in the water. Now remember, water is always horizontal. So when burning, even when your shadows or your images are running up and down, you still really should try burning horizontally in order to keep that water feel. You'll notice that even though the water looks light, in the scheme of things, It's actually more of a mint tone. Let's get that in there. Then we can go in darker and get some of the bushes and rocks that are kind of hanging down. Which right here tells me gotta go even darker now. Let's see here. We have a corner. So this is the corner. So it comes down like that. A little bit. Not much. And then it goes like this. And this right here is greenery. I do have it later. Whatever that is. And you notice even though I'm coloring over the water, you can still see where the burning below was lighter. And that's what you would kind of use. As your marker to keep. Let's see here, we have a line here. So that's a corner, so this would go up a little bit. Let's see. One thing I didn't do is load up the original burning so we could go back and forth and look at it versus this. Just so we can see the differences again. Good lines though. You really have some good lines. Alrighty. Do we still have Amy in the chat?
Yes.
And
she says her newest piece is on poplar. She's very glad to be done with the pine.
Oh, I bet you can really feel the difference between the two. You'll definitely feel like you're achieving more of the burn you want with a wood that's less like this. Let's see here. We still have darks here. And because of so much of the texture in the piece between the rocks and the wood, I think where there's like the solid ground here, I think I wouldn't even worry about putting any kind of texture in it. Just kind of burn it smooth, maybe just a little soft in order to keep the other textures that you really like in the piece. So they stand out more. Sometimes things can feel a little busy. So if we choose what we really want to highlight, let's see here. I'm looking at a very small photo. So yeah, right here, and darkening this up, this up. This pole is actually a little off. I think in my brain I'd straighten it. Because sometimes if it shows kind of bent in your photo, if you copy that, you see it. But if somebody then just looks at your piece, it doesn't have the context that the original reference photo had. And so they might feel like something is off with your burning. So sometimes you have to make that artistic choice to straighten something or omit it altogether so that it doesn't feel off to somebody. Even though you know what you did is right, if it feels off to others, they may not be able to tell you why. It could just be a simple line is off. So it's good to pay attention and just make those decisions for yourself. Just because it's in a photo doesn't always make it right. So I got that a little darker. And I would keep going darker because there's definitely darks in here that match the tonal value that you've got there. Okay. Just build up some more of the water. So that you can really let's see here. Now, does it, again, the grain is really not helping, but, and then with your trees, because you've got this lighter roof, I would not put texture in the trees. I would burn in circles, just kind of fill in the area, overlapping, but it does need to be darker than the roof if you're going to put it in. And this again is a negative burn to pop out that roof without outlining it. You can overlay that with different darks. But this way it kind of smooths out the sky. Puts your wood in. Your roof in. There you go. Ah. Let's try a different pencil just so I can get. That way it kind of fills it in. I would probably, because you've already put it in, just take it to the top. Take it to the top of your line. Where it's lighter, you could go lighter. But that way, you feel like you have a background of trees by the water. Just kind of blend it out. Yeah, this still definitely needs to go darker. It's not going to go darker with that pencil.
Amy's asking, would you use the ball tip for the trees?
Sure. Sure. The ball tips do some great texture, especially for foliage. I'd use it in the sky, or if you've got the 18, the end of the 18, and then for your leaves that you have in here from your greenery, you could even put some scrumbling in there, as well as your rocks. Using the ball tip to kind of break up and squiggle some of those lines. There you go. But yeah, some of the areas I think still need more darks. And once you get those in and you kind of calm down some of the texture, I think you'll get just what you're looking for. There you go. We got any other questions?
No.
Let me just give it a second since buffering was a pain.
We have Ash Kusanagi, who's in chat.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Ash. Hey, Lana. Darks make all the difference in the world. And I should have popped up the photo so we could see real quick. I don't think I can do it. No, I didn't save it as a JPEG. I didn't think to.
Are you talking about the reference?
No, the original burning. That way we could see it darker.
Okay.
Versus, but I don't think I have any photos that. I think I only saved it as Photoshop pictures. So let's see here. Though her picture that she submitted, I guess I could do that. That way we can just have a better view of. Okay, this is the original burning that I want. This one open. Cancel. I don't know why you keep asking me. Okay. There we go. So hopefully kind of see what going a little darker helps with. Just makes things stand out a little bit more. Smooth some stuff out. But definitely, I say print out your photo and play with it. If you're not sure if you're going to like it, color all over it, and then you can really see. Well, we're happy to have you from France. So if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to pop over to Emily's. Pop this off screen. Now, Emily not only wanted help with her burning, but she also had a question about fixing or using old photos. And that's a hard one. I did kind of try to sharpen up the photo that Emily submitted. And if I can get back to it. Okay, so the original that Emily had submitted photo-wise is this. And I did try to kind of clean it up as much as I could. Photoshop is something that will help, but it will never get that photo perfect. You really need to play with it. And I tried to sharpen it as much as I could, adjust some of the contrast and color to get a little bit more of a balance. But when you're working from old photos like this, I highly recommend that you ask the client or the family or whoever you're doing it for as many pictures of that person around that age. Because just going off of one photo is never going to, or it's going to be extremely hard, and you may not get the burning that you're looking for. So having those multiple references where maybe she's sitting on the couch, kind of having her head turned where you can still see her eyes, but you don't have the glare on her glasses. Maybe she's standing somewhere in a different part of the room, so the lighting's different, so you can see a little bit more detail in her hair. You may have to take bits and pieces from other photos in order to know where to go with this photo. Like this one has, I do know that is a just a mark, like a scratch on an old photo. I think you really started off great. I mean, I like that you took out the background so that it doesn't take away from her. And the chair. I think just having it straight on like this kind of portrait makes a lot more sense. So I think that was a really good choice. One thing I might do differently is talk to the client about the clothes. Sometimes people, you can take off some photos of them, but the pattern might take away from it. So, or the graphic on the tee takes away from it. Sometimes going more subtle with the clothes really helps the rest of the piece. But because you did take out the background, that definitely helps a lot, because grandma here kind of
Oh, Eve's gotta leave.
Bye, Eve. Thank you for coming. I'm so sorry about the internet stuff. So frustrating. But if you notice, we've got basically a band right here. The patterns between the wallpaper and her shirt are different, but once you turn it over to sepia or black and white, you lose that and they kind of look like they're together. So she kind of looks like we have the chair and grandma's head, but then the rest we don't. So it was really good, I think, that you removed that. I think that made a big difference. Now, one thing watching is the shadows. If you, depending on how you lay the shadows, you can change the shape of a person's face. So we have to be really careful on that. And the biggest thing that stands out to me on that is her chin. And the eyes are hard because the glasses have the glare. And on fixing the photos, there's a channel on YouTube called PH Learn, Flynn Learn, or Flern is how they call it, but it's Photoshop Learn. He has a lot of videos on fixing photos, both old and new, taking out backgrounds, adding backgrounds, changing colors, changing sizes, and I would say he's a lot more, that is his expertise. So I would recommend going over to that channel after the live or after the replay, and you can definitely learn on how to check out how to fix your photos. So that's the YouTube channel for Learn. So I would do that. And going back to the burning, Emily is on, she believes pine, which looking at the bigger photo, I would agree with her. She's using a Super Pro 2. This is the full piece of it, so hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. If you're going to put in the dark of the background, I really think you should take out, oh, that's charcoal, not colored pencil. Oh, that made the skin on the hair on my arm stand up. I was about to say hair on my back, but I don't have hair on my back, so how could it stand up? Oh, that's horrible. So I would take this further out and kind of blend it out. With pine, I know that's harder to do. If at all possible, like what I was saying with Amy, skip the pine. My favorite is birch. Everybody has their different favorites. And out of the birch, the Baltic birch, right now my favorite is the Trekell Baltic birch panels. And I have that, should have it linked down in the description. And hopefully the code's in there too, so that you can get 10% off. I'll have to check after. So I would keep going out and just kind of fade it out lighter, because this line looks more of an outline than trying to do the negative burning in order to have the lighter areas stand out. I know that's what you were trying to do, and you've got it started. I think it's just a matter of finishing off. Let's see here. You know what? I forgot. I got this. So I would blend out. This is going to have some texture because I'm going over colored pencil. I just want to show the difference. So blend it out. Okay, I will not get a blend with this marker, but that's fine. But filling it out more kind of gives her more space, because it kind of feels like with the line that you're trying to hold her in. Is that, how would you explain that? She kind of feels a little compressed in her spot with that line. Yeah. Is that a good explanation? Kind of compressed?
I think so.
Okay. So
it almost looks like, I mean, it's nice, but It almost looks like clip art or something.
A little bit, yeah.
Because it's like an outline, a big outline.
So we have a dark line here. It goes into the neck.
So, like, putting the dark end around will help define that, you know, the hair. And actually, I'll make it a little closer to the picture.
Yeah. Let's see here. So I'm just going to use this dark to... Because what we have back here behind her is a shadow. Just because they're using a flash. And if at all possible, you don't want to use a photo with a flash for this very reason. Okay. So, because we really have to watch where these shadows are, it changes the shape. So what we can do is kind of try to bring the shape back a little bit. Her face is a little rounder. So the shadow should be a little rounder. Let's see here. Let's put it there. Yeah, a little. A little rounder. Trying to get that dark in there, but this pencil's not going to let me do it. And then here, this shadow is feeling more squarish, so just a little bit more. Kind of soften it up a little bit. We do have to bring it around glasses. Yeah, getting a photo of different angles of your subject will definitely help, I think, to know how the facial muscles really are. Because right here, glasses distort the skin underneath. It can make the eyes look bigger or smaller. Let's see here. So we have this shadow that goes over here. I think you're off to a really great start. It's just following what shadows you can make out. And remember, if you turn it upside down, you see less of what you're looking at and more of the shapes that make up what you're looking at. So turning upside down makes a big difference. You see it, your brain sees it differently, and in seeing it differently, you pick up on things that you didn't before. So like right here, I don't know if this is part of the shirt or the neck or what, but I'm going to put it in because that's what I'm seeing right here is this shape right here. So that's what I'm looking at. So that's the shape I need to try to bring in. It's this way, and it goes this way. It goes up to the face like that. And go this. Okay. Now the lips. Looking at this photo, I don't know that we see her teeth. That could be the highlight on her upper lip. Actually, it is teeth, but we don't have an upper lip. It's more drawn. So this line is a little straighter. And I think that's... Yeah, so this is definitely turn the piece upside down so you see it differently. Let's see. You did good on not burning every tooth or leaving every tooth white. It's not what's going to happen. Let's see here. that in there.
We have a Eduardo Santos de Barros Santos in chat.
Hello, Eduardo. We'll just stick with.
Yeah.
Hola.
But I don't think he speaks English.
Does not appear. Well, we will try our best.
Mm-hmm.
No hablo español?
Yeah, I don't. For sure.
Mi español es muy un poquito. Alright, so we got that. Got it kind of straight. So we have it, and this is why old photos can be so hard, because now we've got to figure out, we've got the two front teeth. Let's see here. You can see those, but they're not very bright. You see less over here. This is going to kind of make her look like a rabbit. Let's see, I can't see, so maybe if I try this. I'm going to try to zoom in on my phone and see if I can not tell. Shoot. Okay, let's see what I can do. So, how the laugh lines sit in the face also help shape it. With older faces, you do get more distinct lines. See, this right here actually has a shadow. And bring that around. See, the lip is actually lighter. If you look here, right here, the lip is lighter than the indent under the lip. So this would be lighter here. Make this darker. And what this does is it helps shape that bottom lip underneath. And I'm going darker than I would, but that's because we're already dark here. So right here, this is actually, now that we look at closer, this right here is the line for her chin. Not down here. This up here. Which makes more sense. It now rounds her face more than it does making it longer. So let's get this up, and then we've got an indent here. So we want that indent. A little bit shape. Get that in there. Okay. I think you did really good on the nose. I'm going to highlight into here, or shadow in here. Do you have any questions?
No.
It's amazing because being gone for 2 weeks, you can feel so out of practice.
I know.
So we have... I think you did good by not outlining her glasses. They're an important feature to her face, but I think when you outline, especially when it's not an outline on the actual glasses, you make it stand out too much. So right here we have a hot flash. That's what the white is. So We can calm that down a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah, on fixing the photo, if you can fix it, I'd say definitely. And if you can't, just getting another photo, even if it's just one other photo of this wonderful lady sitting in a different light, has a better focus, doesn't matter any of that, just a clearer photo. And I think, then again, I'm guessing if they had a clearer photo, they would have picked that over this. Unless something was special going on with this photo. Like family reunion or something. See, that feels off.
Pete says he's too busy watching you repair the lines and definitions to ask any questions.
Oh, I'm trying. Yeah, this photo, I can definitely see being a major issue to burn with. Definitely. Let's see, get a highlight. So we got a highlight there. We got, actually, seems like the mole will be down a little bit. Mole. Down a little bit. See, I still feel the face is still not quite hers yet. What am I missing? Don't feel like it's quite her face yet. Like I'm off on something. Like I'm missing something. What would that be? Let's turn her back upside down. Maybe then I'll pick it up. So we got that line. This. I wonder. I wouldn't go this dark, but it's so I can see. So we got this line. No, don't do that.
Sorry.
Don't do that. Okay. Okay, and then we can. That feeling. It's not lines that make up the face, it's the shadows.
Beryl says hair in the bottom left.
What? Bottom left.
Bottom left is it upside down, or bottom left as it's right side up?
Yeah, but it's the shape of the face that's throwing me off. I feel like I'm kind of off on. Let's see.
Pete says he was about to ask the same question. Oh, okay, that I asked.
Just looking at the shape. Just looking at the shape. Let's see here, because it's got an ear. You got an ear here. You got an ear here. We got darks up in here. The hair. Let's see. So darker. Sorry, I'm trying to work this out. There is something. Even the shape of the hair is going to define the person.
He says the hair was too low or close to her shoulder. Beryl says maybe too long when it is right side up.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I'll take it away. Maybe that's it. Well, there is hair here, but it's kind of blended in. Now, I would do this smoother. I'm just doing crisscross to quickly fill in. Let's see here. Glasses line. It goes in, it comes out, and goes up. And squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Curve in. Curve in. Curve in. Man, I'm so out of practice. Let's see here. That puts the shoulder up here. Oh, we're still off. I know the darkness of the lips is one thing that's throwing me off because it's just not that dark. This kind of goes like this. It goes. I'm just going to draw the lines. It goes like this. Goes like this. Yeah, this is definitely a reason to print out because I would never do this on any burning, mine or otherwise. Right there. Okay, so this actually goes up a little bit. That comes down. That's up here. What I'm doing is just trying to find the landscape of the face. And see if that helps. Because I do feel like I'm missing something. More like that. Okay, maybe I'm closer now. But the glasses, as funny as I keep this up, I'm not going to have time to do the buffalo. And I haven't burned in so long. I really need to burn. Alright, so let's darken that. Shadow. Down. I would say this is definitely a good example of why a clear photo is so necessary. For this very reason. Now, I would not go this dark. I'm just trying to get my shapes. Because I keep feeling off. Just trying to find it. Alright. So, if I was doing this piece first, I'd probably tell them no, because of how it looks. See, this has got neck muscles down in here. Anyway, what I would do is print out this photo fix as much as I could possibly fix it if I was doing it. Then I would take a pen and actually, look at this. I would actually take a pen on my reference photo and I would find where my most important marks are, and I would outline them just like this. I would go through and outline what everything is so that I could make sure I could see it. And using my light box that you could use a window, I would put a piece of tracing paper over this and trace out the lines. That way I could keep adjusting so I could see better where what, so I could tell what's what. And I would do this as much as I needed to. See, this is actually a shadow right here. That's not the hair. It's an actual shadow. And where I'm not, where I don't want a heavy line because maybe the shading, I take a couple of dots, kind of dot it in. You see, now I can see the shapes. Those lines. I, of course, would have this photo bigger. I definitely would have this photo bigger. You see, now I have so much more information that I can decide what I want. So I would keep doing that, using the dots, so I know where shading is. And I even transfer those dots. I don't skip them. Let's see here. We just, now we can see more information and be able to tell better what's what in transferring. Because, let's see here. See right here we've got a neckline, a muscle. Then we have the other muscle right here. Yeah, a little shaky, small area. Go. Again, do the same with the glasses. Making the piece bigger will help a lot. You see, now we can kind of tell a little bit more what her eyes are doing. Maybe. That's why you need the other photo. Because right here she's smiling. When you smile, it squinches your eye. But is she smiling? We can't tell. Now I'm just losing it. So ignore the eyes. Oh, this looks bad. I know it looks bad. Well, it does because I'm working from a small photo. It's gonna leave me again.
I'll be right back.
Alright, so I would lay down my transfer paper on top of this, or I'm sorry, not my tracing paper. I would lay down my tracing paper on top of it, go back over my lines, and then use that to transfer the piece. So with the shading, I would have laid down the dots. But you can't see with that. So I'd lay down. What are you doing? See, I'm following the shape. I'm only using the white now so we can see it better.
How many more do we have to go?
This is it. I was going to work on the buffalo, but it's already 12:22 and we were late. Thanks to Suddenlink, who I still need to call and chew out. Yeah. So yeah, trying... Having a better photo always makes a big difference. I think you've got a wonderful burning. I would definitely put more dark around it. Kind of shape things a little bit more. Maybe kind of... let's see this show. Do some flat shading on the shirt just to kind of push things back so it's not so obvious. Maybe give it a little flow to it. Kind of calm down the texture. And just... So you've already got some really dark burns. So I'm wondering... The eyes, I think you'd leave them alone. Because you actually did, I think, over what we're looking at, I think you did a really good job with the eyes. So I'd leave those alone. And just... Let's see here. Just work on... shaping the face a little bit more and the hair, because you kind of got the hair going down like over towards her left, but she's actually got more hair going up and kind of floofy out. So I think it's just, you know, darkening and kind of shaping just a little bit more, and leave the eyes alone, and you're not gonna be able to do much with the flash. So I think you've really compensated well for that. And the mouth. If you can lay your photo and our lines back down so you can see by, you know, flipping up and down your lines over your board, maybe it'll tell you a little bit more about the mouth. Yeah. I know Emily's not with us, so this peat is burned. This is that is pine. You can tell by the grain that it's pine. And I'd say the cutout. You see that more with pine. I mean, you see it with all of them, but pine. So what I'm gonna do? This is not gonna work for me. So for Photoshop help, the channel is Flern here on YouTube, and I think it will help a lot. Again, I'm not a master in Photoshop, so I darkened and adjusted a few things, but there would be a lot more work that I would do to a photo like this in order to get it kind of in a place where I would burn it. So I do think checking out his photos or his videos hopefully will help whoever needs help with it. I still watch his videos even if I already have an idea of what I'm doing. So do we have any more questions?
I don't see any.
I'm going to give a minute because every time I ask, we don't see any, and then we say bye, and then like right then and there as we're saying bye and I click off, a question comes in. Right. So I'm just going to sit here and wait.
Okay. For 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds. Is that how long our...
That's how long our delay is.
We will be better next week. And next week, I think we will work on the buffalo. Because I really like to get that done. Now I need to go to Suddenlink a new cord cable. Yes, that upsets me. And then I need to get a hold of the magazine and get that squared away on dates. But I definitely want to thank Amy and Emily for sharing their wonderful art with us. I love that you guys feel comfortable and trust to submit. I know that can be quite hard, especially when this is going to be on YouTube, but I think you both are doing awesome jobs. And definitely keep it up. Don't. Just when you think you're ready to stop, just go a little further. Get those darks in, and it'll make a big difference for your burning. Thank you, Joshua. Love you. Don't forget, you're awesome. You can do this. You're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Bye.